The Hawthorne estate sparkled like a dream that had finally come true. Crystal chandeliers glowed over a sea of white roses, jazz music floated through the air, and hundreds of New York's wealthiest elites filled the venue. Everyone whispered the same thing: Julian Hawthorne's wedding was perfect. Julian himself believed that too. Son of one of Manhattan's most influential real estate families, dressed in a custom Italian suit, surrounded by luxury and applause. Tonight was the night he had waited for. His bride, Celeste Warren, a brilliant and graceful woman from an old Boston family, walked through the crowd like she had stepped out of a painting. Together, they looked like the definition of a fairy tale couple. Julian smiled for cameras, shook hands, accepted congratulations, and pretended everything was flawless. But deep inside, beneath every smile and every carefully rehearsed word, there was a tightness in his chest he couldn't explain, an old ache he thought he buried years ago. The reception began. Guests laughed, drank champagne, and waited eagerly for the first course. That's when the catering doors opened. A team of chefs walked in, each wearing the same black and white uniform and the same tall white hat. But one of them wore a black half mask, stylish and strange, covering the top half of his face. Guests whispered instantly, "Who's that? Is that part of the theme? That's unusual for a wedding." Julian barely noticed at first, until the masked chef stepped forward, holding a silver tray. Their eyes met, and Julian's entire world froze. Even with half his face hidden, Julian knew those eyes. Deep brown, intense, full of fire even when emotion was quiet. Eyes that once looked at him with love, then with betrayal, then with heartbreak. It couldn't be, but it was. Andre Taylor, the man Julian had loved in secret for almost 2 years. The man he had walked away from without a word. The man he had replaced with Celeste because his family said a Hawthorne marrying a black man, especially one not from their world, would destroy the legacy. The man he cheated on, then abandoned. Julian's breath left his lungs. Andre lifted his head slightly, acknowledging him, but his face was unreadable behind the mask, cold, calm, almost professional. He offered the tray toward a nearby table, without sparing Julian another second. Julian felt his throat tighten. His wedding didn't feel perfect anymore. It didn't even feel stable, because the one person he hoped he'd never face again was standing right there in his wedding hall, serving food, wearing a mask, and acting like Julian had never mattered. Julian stepped back, gripping a chair to steady himself. Celeste noticed. "Julian, are you okay?" He forced a smile. "Yes, I'm fine," but his heart screamed the opposite. Across the room, standing under the warm lights, Andre lifted another tray, and for the briefest moment, Julian saw a flash of hurt in his eyes. A hurt that Julian caused. A perfect wedding suddenly felt like the biggest lie of his life. Make sure to sub our channel to support us. Julian couldn't focus on anything. Not the music, not the guests, not even Celeste's hand gently squeezing his arm. Everything around him blurred into soft noise as his eyes kept drifting back to the masked chef moving through the room. Andre moved with the same quiet confidence Julian remembered. But something was different now. Gone was the warm, soft-hearted man who used to hum Motown songs while cooking breakfast. Gone was the boyish smile that made Julian feel safe. Gone was the softness that made their stolen nights in Brooklyn feel like a world untouched by wealth, pressure, or expectation. This Andre was colder, sharpened, a man who had rebuilt himself out of the ruins Julian left behind. Julian swallowed hard. He couldn't breathe. The wedding planner approached the newlyweds. "Mr. and Mrs. Hawthorne, we're ready to serve the first course." Julian's pulse spiked. No, not him, not Andre. Please don't let him come to this table. But fate wasn't listening. A few seconds later, the masked chef stepped to their table with 2 servers trailing behind him. He placed the plates down in front of the VIP guests, politicians, corporate giants, old money families, then turned toward the bride and groom. Julian's heartbeat slammed against his ribs. Andre stopped right in front of him. For a moment, neither of them breathed. "Your first course, Mr. Hawthorne," Andre said softly, politely, professionally. But Julian heard the storm underneath. His voice had changed, deeper, controlled, like every word had been sealed with unspoken pain. Julian's fingers trembled as he reached for the fork. Celeste watched him carefully. "This looks incredible," Celeste said warmly, looking at Andre. "Thank you." Andre bowed his head slightly, but his eyes never left Julian's. The tension between them was so sharp it felt like it could cut the tablecloth clean in half. Celeste turned to her husband. "Julian, honey, you're shaking." He forced a smile. "I'm fine, just overwhelmed by the day." But his gaze betrayed him. Andre noticed, and for the first time that night, a small, almost invisible smirk touched the corner of his mouth. It wasn't cruel. It was something even worse. It was the smile of someone who isn't hurt anymore, because the hurt turned into something far stronger, far more dangerous. Julian panicked. He leaned forward, speaking under his breath. "Andre, what are you doing here?" Andre didn't flinch. "Doing my job," he whispered back. "Something you forced me to learn how to survive." Julian felt the words like a knife sliding under the ribs. "Please just talk to me. Not here, not like this." "Why?" Andre murmured. "Afraid someone might see the truth behind your perfect wedding." Julian swallowed. Celeste looked between them, confused. "You two know each other." Andre straightened instantly, professional mask snapping into place. "I've worked for many families in New York, Mrs. Hawthorne. I'm sure your husband has seen my work before." Julian winced internally at the word work, knowing it was a deliberate reminder. Celeste smiled politely. "Oh, well, your team is doing a wonderful job." Andre nodded. "Thank you, ma'am." Then he turned to Julian, leaned down just enough so only he could hear, and whispered, "Enjoy the night. You earned it, didn't you?" Julian froze. Andre stepped back, turned away, and walked back into the crowd, leaving Julian feeling like someone had punched all the air from his lungs. Celeste frowned. "Julian, what's going on?" He stood up suddenly. "I need some air. Now, during the reception. I'll be right back." He didn't wait for her, didn't think, didn't breathe. He followed Andre, through the crowd, past the music, past the lights and the perfect decorations, into the back hallway where the catering team moved in and out. Julian caught Andre's wrist. "Stop, please." Andre turned around slowly, like a storm turning to face the coast it was about to destroy. "Let go. Not until you talk to me." Andre's jaw flexed under the mask. "When you walked out of my life, Julian, you didn't ask for my permission then." Julian felt tears sting his eyes. "Andre, I'm sorry. I never meant to." "Don't," Andre snapped, voice low and trembling with buried emotion. "Don't say you never meant to hurt me. You destroyed me. You walked out and left me picking up pieces of myself I didn't know how to fix." Julian's chest tightened painfully. "I thought leaving was the only way to protect you from my family." "Your family?" Andre cut in, eyes blazing. "Your family didn't cheat on me. You did. Your family didn't lie to my face. You did." Julian's throat closed. "And now," Andre continued softly, "you're standing here drenched in luxury, wearing a ring you should never have put on, while I'm serving dinner at your wedding." Julian's voice cracked. "This isn't how I wanted us to meet again." Andre took a step forward, face inches from Julian, and whispered, "Good, because this is all you deserve." Then he pulled his arm free and walked away. Julian stood alone in the dim hallway, heart shattered and wedding ring suddenly feeling like a chain around his finger. For the first time that night, he realized something terrifying. The past wasn't done with him, and Andre had returned not by accident, but with purpose. The hallway felt like it was shrinking around Julian, the walls closing in with every breath he tried to take. The sounds of the wedding, applause, laughter, music, faded into a distant echo behind him. His entire world had narrowed into one painful truth. Andre was here, and he wasn't done with him. Julian wiped the corner of his eyes quickly. He couldn't walk back into the reception looking like a broken man. Not tonight. Not in front of hundreds of people waiting to celebrate his perfect marriage. He took a shaky breath and followed the path Andre had gone down. The hallway led him to a set of swinging metal doors. The kitchen. He pushed them open. Inside was chaos. Chefs shouting orders, pots clanging, flames rising under pans, servers rushing in and out with trays. But in the middle of that chaos stood Andre, calm, silent, focused, as if the entire world wasn't falling apart the moment he stepped into Julian's life again. Andre stood at a stainless steel counter, slicing herbs with a precision that looked almost violent. Each cut was sharp, quick, controlled. Julian stepped closer. "Andre," he said softly. Andre didn't look up. "You shouldn't be in here. I'm not leaving until you talk to me." Andre scoffed under his breath. Funny, you didn't want to talk when you left. Now suddenly you've found your voice. Julian clenched his jaw. He deserved that, maybe worse. A chef yelled from across the kitchen. Taylor, we need the garnish for table 12. Andre didn't stop cutting. I'll bring it in a moment. Julian watched him in silence for a moment, his heart tearing at the sight of someone who used to cook for him in their tiny Brooklyn apartment, now preparing food for his wedding like a stranger. His voice cracked. You weren't supposed to be here. Andre finally looked up. I wasn't supposed to be a lot of things, Julian. I wasn't supposed to matter to you. I wasn't supposed to believe your promises. I wasn't supposed to think you'd choose me over your image. His eyes darkened. But I did, and I was wrong. Julian took a step closer. I made mistakes. Mistakes? Andre laughed, dry, bitter, exhausted. You call cheating on me a mistake. You call leaving me without even a goodbye note a mistake. You call replacing me in 2 months with a woman from your parents' country club a mistake. Julian flinched. Every word was a punch he deserved. Andre continued, voice trembling in anger. You shattered me, Julian. I spent months thinking I wasn't enough for you, thinking that being black, being from a working-class family, being someone who loved you too much, meant I didn't deserve you. You made me feel small. Julian's voice shook, and I made myself miserable too. Andre grabbed a tray, slamming it onto the counter. Oh, please. You got a penthouse, a beautiful bride, a perfect wedding, and the applause of Manhattan. Don't pretend we suffered the same. Julian wanted to scream that he wasn't happy, that he hadn't slept properly in months, that every time he saw the Brooklyn Bridge, he remembered the night he kissed Andre under the rain, that every day he felt like he was living in someone else's skin. But before he could speak, the kitchen manager rushed in. Taylor, table 12 is waiting, go. Andre took the tray and walked past Julian, brushing his shoulder just slightly, a contact cold enough to freeze his spine. Julian followed him without thinking. Andre, please, just give me one chance to explain. Andre stopped, turned, looked him dead in the eyes. You want a chance? He asked quietly. You already had one. You had every chance. You chose them. You chose what looked good on paper. You chose a life where I didn't exist. Julian felt tears gather again. And now, Andre whispered, you're married, you made your choice, so accept it. Andre pushed the kitchen doors open and walked out with the tray, leaving Julian standing alone in the heat of the kitchen, trembling, broken, and painfully aware that the man he still loved might never forgive him. For the first time in years, Julian felt something unfamiliar and terrifying rising inside him. Regret, and the fear that it was already too late. Julian didn't know how long he stood in that kitchen after Andre left. Seconds, minutes, it felt like hours. The smell of rosemary and searing butter filled the air, but all he could taste was bitterness. His own bitterness, his own regret. He finally forced himself to walk back through the swinging doors, straightening his jacket, wiping his eyes so the guests wouldn't notice anything was wrong. But the moment he stepped back into the glowing, laughter-filled reception hall, he realized everything was wrong. The lights felt too bright, the music too loud. Every smiling face felt like a lie. Every toast, every compliment, every chandelier gleam. It all suddenly felt like a stage built to hide the truth he spent years running from. As Julian moved through the crowd, he could see Celeste at their table, her posture elegant yet noticeably tense as she looked in the direction he had disappeared. When she spotted him, her smile quickened, but it didn't reach her eyes. Julian, she said when he reached her, placing a hand on his arm. Sweetheart, you were gone for so long. Is everything all right? He nodded automatically. Yes, just needed a moment. But Celeste wasn't a fool. She could sense cracks forming in the foundation of their perfect day. Did something happen? She pressed gently. You look pale. Julian opened his mouth, wanting desperately to lie, to brush it off. But for the first time in his life, the lie felt heavier than the truth. He swallowed. I saw someone I didn't expect, he murmured. Celeste tilted her head. Oh, a guest. No, someone in the staff. Her eyebrows lifted slightly. Someone you know well. Julian froze. Celeste saw the hesitation, and suddenly her entire expression shifted. Soft concern sharpened into suspicion. But before she could ask anything more, the room dimmed slightly. The band quieted their instruments. A spotlight turned to the stage as her father stepped up with a microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, he said warmly. "It is time for the parent speeches." Everyone applauded. Celeste squeezed Julian's hand. "Come on, they're expecting us there." He took her hand, but for the first time her touch felt wrong, heavy, like linking himself to a future he didn't recognize anymore. They walked toward the head table, passing servers carrying trays and refilling glasses. Julian's eyes scanned the room subconsciously, searching for Andre. He found him. Across the room, near the bar, Andre stood with two other chefs, listening to instructions from the catering manager. The mask still covered half his face. He didn't look at Julian, not even once, but Julian felt him like gravity. Celeste leaned toward him as her father spoke on stage. "You're distracted," she whispered softly. Julian forced his gaze away from Andre. "No, I'm here." She studied him carefully, the kind of careful that meant she had noticed far more than he wanted her to. Her father finished his speech to cheers and laughter. Then Celeste's mother took the stage. More applause, more smiling, more pretending. Julian clapped along with everyone, but inside, everything was unraveling because he kept seeing Andre's face in his mind. The heartbreak, the anger, the cold mask of indifference. And under all of it, the love they never finished. The incident. Just as Celeste's mother finished speaking, a loud crash echoed from near the bar. Glass shattered. Guests gasped. Julian turned sharply. One of the servers stood frozen, having dropped an entire tray of champagne flutes. But that wasn't the shocking part. The shocking part was who was kneeling next to him, helping pick up the pieces. Andre. Julian's breath caught. He moved before he could think. Servers swarmed to help, but Andre stayed low, collecting shards with a cloth so no guest would cut themselves. Julian reached him. "Andre," he whispered urgently, "are you hurt?" Andre didn't look up, didn't acknowledge him. He simply picked up a broken stem of glass and placed it on the tray. Julian crouched beside him. "Please talk to me," Julian said, voice breaking. "I'm begging you." Andre finally looked at him, and the pain in those eyes, even behind the mask, was so sharp Julian felt it like a physical wound. "Don't beg," Andre said quietly. "It's too late for that." Julian's throat tightened. "I didn't marry her because I loved her," Julian whispered. "I married her because of pressure," Andre cut in. "Because of your family, because of your reputation." He shook his head. "You always have an excuse, Julian, but excuses don't erase what you did." Julian opened his mouth to speak, but a voice interrupted them. Celeste, standing right behind him, her face pale, her eyes wide, her hand covering her mouth. "Julian," she whispered, "what is going on?" Andre immediately stood. He set the tray on a nearby table. "I'll get back to work," he said flatly, turning to leave. But Celeste stepped in front of him. "Wait," she said sharply. "I heard enough to know I'm missing something very important. Who are you?" Andre paused. Slowly, he turned back. When he spoke, his voice was steady, calm, wounded, honest. "I'm someone your husband once loved," he said. Julian's entire soul dropped. Celeste's eyes widened in shock. Guests turned. Servers froze. The entire room felt like it went silent, though the music still played softly in the background. Julian stood helpless, heart racing, lungs burning. "And I'm someone," Andre continued quietly, "that he walked away from without ever telling me why." Celeste's hand trembled. Guests stared, and Julian felt his perfect world crack, loud enough for everyone to hear. Like and subscribe for a full 3 seconds. No one breathed. Not Celeste, not the guests, not even Julian. Andre's words seemed to echo across the reception hall long after he stopped speaking. "I'm someone your husband once loved, someone he walked away from." Celeste's hand slowly dropped from her mouth. "Julian," she whispered. Her voice cracked, not angry, not screaming, but confused, hurt, afraid. Julian felt the world tilt beneath him. "Celeste," he tried, stepping forward. "Please let me explain." But she stepped back. The distance between them felt like miles. Guests whispered. Phones quietly lifted. Eyes widened. Everyone was watching the millionaire groom, standing between the woman he was marrying and the black man he once loved and broke. Julian could barely breathe. "Is this true?" Celeste asked. "Did you love him?" Julian looked between them, the woman he had promised a future to, and the man who once was his future. Slowly he nodded. Celeste staggered back, hitting the edge of a table. "Oh my God!" Andre closed his eyes. Not triumph, not satisfaction, Just sorrow. I didn't come here to ruin your wedding, Andre said quietly. I came to do my job. Celeste scoffed, not loud but sharp. And you thought exposing this, whatever this is, was professional. Andre's jaw tightened. I didn't expose anything, he said. I was trying not to even be seen. He came to me. Julian's voice shook. Celeste, please. I panicked. I didn't know he'd be here. I was going to tell you, Andre turned sharply. No, he cut in. You were never going to tell her, just like you never told your family, or your friends, or anyone. That's who you are, Julian. You hide the truth, then act surprised when it surfaces. The words hit Julian like a punch. Celeste swallowed hard, her eyes shining with the sting of betrayal. So you lied to me, she whispered. On our wedding day. Julian stepped toward her, but she raised a trembling hand. Don't, she said, just don't. A hollow pain spread across Julian's chest. Guests were whispering louder now. Is that his ex? I knew something was strange. He was with a guy, and he didn't tell his fiancée. This is a disaster. Julian felt his life spinning out of control. Then, Celeste straightened her shoulders. Her voice sharpened just slightly. When, she asked, when did you two end? Julian's throat burned. Years ago, he whispered. In college. Andre's eyes flickered. Pain resurfaced. Don't lie, Andre said quietly. It wasn't just college. Celeste's gaze snapped toward Julian. What does that mean? Julian closed his eyes. Andre stepped closer, not angry but heartbreakingly calm. Tell her, he said. Tell her the truth. You never had the courage to tell me. Julian shook his head, voice trembling. Andre, please. Celeste's voice cracked. Julian, tell me. The room was so silent Julian could hear his own heartbeat pounding in his ears. Finally, he whispered, we didn't just end in college. We tried again. 2 years ago. Celeste went still. 2 years ago, when they were already dating. That was the moment Celeste broke. Her hand flew to her mouth again, as tears filled her eyes. You cheated on me with him. Julian looked at the floor. I'm so sorry. A gasp rippled through the guests. Andre looked away, jaw tight, as if hearing it out loud hurt him too. Celeste took a shaky breath. Everyone, please, she said, turning to the guests with a wavering voice. Give us space, please. People began to scatter, whispering, avoiding eye contact. The band played something soft to cover the tension, but nothing could hide the disaster unfolding at the center of the room. Andre stepped back. I shouldn't have said anything, he murmured. I shouldn't have come, I'm sorry. He turned to leave, but Julian grabbed his wrist. Andre, wait. Andre pulled his hand away like the touch burned him. Don't, he said softly. You made your choice years ago. He walked toward the kitchen. Julian watched him go, heart caving in, breath trembling, regret crushing him like a collapsing building. Celeste wiped her tears. Julian, she said quietly, we're going to talk, but not here, not in front of anyone. Her voice broke, and not with him around. Julian nodded weakly, but as Celeste walked ahead of him, Julian glanced at the kitchen door, and in his heart he knew he wasn't done with Andre, not even close. Julian followed Celeste down a long hallway of the venue, far from the music, far from the guests, far from Andre. Her wedding gown shimmered under the ceiling lights, but her shoulders were trembling. Her heels clicked fast on the marble floor, louder than the band's distant music. Julian had never seen her walk this fast. He had never seen her walk away from him. They reached the private bridal suite. Celeste opened the door, stepped inside, and stood completely still. She didn't turn around. She didn't speak. She didn't cry. She just stood there. Julian shut the door softly behind them. Celeste, he whispered. His voice cracked. Please just let me explain. She finally turned. Her eyes were filled with tears. Not rage, not fury, but heartbreak. Explain, she repeated, voice trembling. How do you explain cheating on me with someone you clearly never stopped loving? Julian stepped forward, but Celeste stepped away again. Stay there, she whispered. The distance hit him harder than any slap. She took a deep breath. 2 years, she said. 2 years of you pretending. 2 years of planning a future. 2 years of choosing wedding color and venues and flowers, while knowing this man still lived in your heart. Julian swallowed. It wasn't like that. Then what was it? She snapped. Tell me the truth for once. Julian sank into a chair, hands shaking, eyes burning. I thought if I just moved forward, it would disappear. Celeste blinked at him. Disappear? She let out a shaky, heartbreaking laugh. You don't just erase love, Julian. I know, he whispered, but I tried, God, I tried. Celeste wiped a tear. So I was your what? Your safe choice, your backup plan, your way to live a normal life that your family approved of. Julian didn't answer, and that silence, that moment of hesitation, was everything. Celeste lowered herself onto the sofa, her shoulders shaking silently. Julian, she whispered, do you even love me? His throat closed. Did he care for her? Yes. Did he cherish her? Yes. Did he want to make her happy? Absolutely. But love, deep love, raw love, the love that consumed him, he had only ever felt that once, with Andre, and Celeste could see the truth written in his eyes. She looked away slowly, whispering, that's what I thought. Meanwhile, in the kitchen, Andre was back behind the swinging doors, washing dishes, scrubbing pans, pretending nothing had happened. But his hands were shaking. The head chef approached him. Andre, you don't have to stay, he said gently. Go home, I'll cover for you. Andre shook his head. This is my job, I stay. The head chef sighed. You sure? Andre nodded, but inside, he wasn't sure of anything. He felt guilty. He felt exposed. He felt stupid for still loving a man who shattered him. And yet, a part of him still ached for Julian's touch, Julian's voice, Julian's apology. He closed his eyes and inhaled deeply. It's over, he whispered to himself. It's been over, let it go. But he couldn't, because love didn't listen to logic. Back in the bridal suite, Celeste stood up again, her breathing uneven. Julian, I need the truth, all of it. He nodded, tears forming. Okay, ask me anything. She met his eyes. Do you still love him? Julian's breath caught, and he couldn't lie. Not anymore. Yes. Celeste shattered. A sob escaped her lips as she covered her face. I can't believe this, she cried. I married a man who loves someone else. Julian rushed to her. Celeste, I care about you. I care deeply. I wanted a life with you. But you didn't choose me, she whispered. You settled for me. Julian's lips trembled. Celeste, please. She took a long breath, steadying herself. Then she said something that froze Julian's soul. I need some time alone. Right now, go. Julian felt the ground slip beneath him. Celeste, go, she repeated, turning away. Just go. His chest tightened painfully. He opened the door, stepped out, and closed it behind him. He leaned back against the wall, eyes closed, heart pounding. His wedding, the future he thought he wanted, was collapsing in real time. And somewhere in that venue, Andre was trying to act like Julian didn't matter. But Julian whispered into the empty hallway. I have to talk to him, because no matter how much he tried to bury it, every beat of his heart still said the same name. Andre. Julian stood in the empty hallway, hands shaking, breathing unsteady, the weight of his collapsing wedding pressing down on him like a crushing storm. He had never felt so lost. Celeste was behind one door, broken, betrayed, destroyed. Andre was behind another, hurt, exhausted, pretending he didn't care. And Julian was split in half. He pushed himself off the wall and walked toward the kitchen. Every step felt heavier than the last. He wasn't thinking about the guests, or the speeches, or his parents' reputation. He only had one thought. I can't let Andre walk away again. The kitchen again. The moment Julian pushed through the swinging doors, the noise hit him. Pots clanging, flames roaring, chefs yelling orders. But his eyes found Andre instantly. Andre was rinsing a pan, water splashing up his forearms, jaw tight, shoulders shaking a little from the adrenaline of everything that had just happened. Julian swallowed hard. Andre, he said softly. Andre froze. The water kept running, but Andre's body went completely still. He didn't turn, didn't speak, didn't even breathe for a second. Julian stepped closer. Please, he whispered, look at me. Andre shut off the water, slowly, painfully slowly. He turned around. His mask was still on, but his eyes, Julian had never seen them so wounded. What do you want now? Andre asked quietly. Julian exhaled shakily. To talk, just talk. Andre shook his head and looked away. You said everything already, he murmured. You confessed in front of your wife. What's left? Julian stepped closer. Everything, he whispered. The things I never said. The things I should have told you years ago. Andre's eyes flickered, just slightly, but he didn't speak. Julian took a breath. You weren't a mistake, he said, voice trembling. You were the best thing in my life. Andre squeezed his eyes shut, like the words hurt him more than silence ever had. Do, Andre whispered. Don't say things you didn't mean back then. I did mean them, Julian replied instantly. I was just too afraid to admit it. Andre clenched his jaw. And now you want to admit it on the day you married someone else. Julian's heart twisted. I don't want to hurt her, he said. I never wanted this chaos. But when I saw you again, everything I buried came back. Andre stared at him, eyes sharp, voice soft. You bury everything, Julian. Feelings, truth, people. You bury until nothing is left. Julian felt tears rise. Andre, please just listen. Andre shook his head. I listened for years, he said quietly. I listened while you made excuses. I listened while you promised me a future. And I listened the night you walked out without a word. Julian felt that hit like a punch. That night, he whispered, I thought I wasn't good enough for you. Andre frowned. What? Julian stepped closer. You had everything I didn't, he said. Bravery, honesty, a heart that didn't care about judgment. I envied that, and I hated myself for not being like you. Andre's expression softened, just slightly, but he didn't move. Julian took a shaky breath. Andre, I miss you every day. I think about you every time I cross the Brooklyn Bridge, every time I hear jazz, every time I try to sleep. Andre swallowed. Hard. Don't do this, he whispered. You're married, Julian. Julian closed the distance between them, voice trembling. Am I, he whispered. My wife doesn't even want to look at me right now. Andre inhaled sharply. That's because you broke her heart. Julian nodded. I know, and I hate myself for it. Andre stared into his eyes. So what do you want from me? His voice was soft but steady. Forgiveness, a second chance, closure. Julian shook his head. No, he whispered. I want you. Andre froze. His breath caught. His lips parted slightly. His eyes trembled. Julian, don't, he whispered shakily. You can't say that now. Julian whispered back. I've loved you all this time. Andre's eyes filled with tears instantly. So fast he had to turn away. He pressed a hand over his face. Why now, he whispered. Why today? Why when everything is ruined? Julian gently touched Andre's arm. Andre flinched, but didn't pull away. Julian's voice cracked. Because losing you again hurts more than ruining my wedding. Andre slowly turned his face toward him, eyes glassy, lips trembling. But before he could speak, the kitchen doors flew open. Julian's father marched in, red-faced with fury. There you are, he shouted. What the hell do you think you're doing? The guests are panicking. Your wife is in tears, and you're hiding in the kitchen with. His eyes landed on Andre, and the look he gave him was sharp, ugly, disgusted. Andre stepped back immediately. Julian's father pointed a shaking finger at him. You, he snapped. Get out of this venue right now. I don't want you anywhere near this family. Andre's chest rose and fell, but he didn't argue. He didn't fight. He just lowered his gaze and began to untie his apron. Julian panicked. Dad, stop, he shouted. His father grabbed Julian's arm. You're coming with me now, he hissed. Julian jerked his arm away. No. The room went silent. Julian's voice trembled, but it was stronger than ever. I'm not leaving him. Andre froze mid-motion, apron in his hands, breathing hard. Julian's father stared at him in disbelief. What? He demanded. Julian stepped closer to Andre. I said I'm not leaving him. Andre's eyes widened, not with joy, but with overwhelming heartbreak, because he knew this was only the beginning of chaos that none of them were ready for. The kitchen went dead silent. Andre stood frozen with his apron half folded. Julian's father, red-faced, trembling with rage. And Julian, for the first time in his life, wasn't backing down. The air felt sharp, electric, dangerous. Julian repeated, voice low but steady. I'm not leaving him. His father stepped forward, face tight with fury. Julian, this is your wedding day, he hissed. You're humiliating your wife. You're humiliating this family. And you're throwing everything away for. His eyes cut toward Andre, cold, disapproving, almost venomous. For him, Andre swallowed hard, eyes dropping to the floor. Julian clenched his fists. Dad, don't talk to him like that. Don't talk to him like, his father snapped. He ruined your wedding. Julian's chest tightened. No, he said sharply. I ruined it, not Andre. Andre looked up shocked, like those words hit him right in the heart. Julian took a breath. And if you want to yell at someone, yell at me. Leave him out of this. His father stared, speechless for a moment, then stepped even closer. You listen to me, he whispered angrily. You are a billionaire, Julian. You have responsibilities, a legacy to protect. You don't get to throw your entire future away for some. Julian cut him off instantly. Don't finish that sentence. The room went still. Andre flinched, knowing exactly what Julian's father almost said. Julian's voice shook, but with anger this time. You don't get to talk about him like he's nothing. You don't get to shame him. You don't get to erase him. His father narrowed his eyes. This is exactly why I told you years ago to stop this phase, to end this foolishness. Andre stiffened. Julian felt his heart crack. A phase, Julian whispered. Dad, I loved him. His father scoffed. That wasn't love, that was confusion. Julian's voice broke. No, what I had with Andre was real. More real than anything you ever let me have. For the first time, Julian's father went quiet. Andre's eyes softened, but he didn't speak. Julian stepped slightly in front of him, as if shielding him. I'm done hiding who I am, he said softly. I'm done letting you decide who deserves to stand next to me. His father exhaled sharply. And what about Celeste? He demanded. What about your wife? Julian swallowed hard. I'm going to talk to her, and I'm going to tell her everything. Andre's chest rose sharply, fear mixed with heartbreak. Julian continued. I don't know where my marriage stands right now, but I do know one thing. He turned to Andre, voice softer, breaking. I'm not losing you again. Andre blinked hard, his throat tightening. Before anyone could speak, the kitchen doors swung open again. It was Celeste's mother, breathing fast, face pale. Julian Celeste fainted. Julian froze. Andre's breath caught. What? Julian whispered. She collapsed, her mother cried. She's not responding. We've called an ambulance. Julian felt the world tilt. Spin. Collapse beneath him. He grabbed the edge of the counter, knuckles white. His father stepped in quickly. This is what you've done, he snapped. Your wife is unconscious and you're here arguing over him. Andre's gaze dropped in guilt. Julian felt his heart tear. No, this wasn't supposed to happen. His voice cracked. I never wanted to hurt her. Celeste's mother sobbed. Julian, please, she needs you. Julian turned toward Andre, eyes drowning, breath trembling. Andre whispered, Go. His voice was soft, broken. She needs you more than I do. Julian opened his mouth, but no words came. Andre took a tiny step back, eyes filling. It's okay, he whispered. You don't have to choose right now. Just go to her. Julian's chest caved in. He wanted to stay. He wanted to run to Celeste. He wanted to protect Andre. He wanted to undo everything, but nothing made sense. Julian looked at Andre one last time, like he was memorizing him. Then he whispered, I'll come back for you. Andre blinked at him, a single tear slipping down his cheek. Julian turned and ran out of the kitchen. Andre watched him go, heart shattering silently, knowing the next part of this story might break all three of them completely. The ambulance lights painted the entire street red and blue. Julian ran out of the venue, chest tight, breath burning, the world spinning around him. Guests stood outside whispering, confused and terrified, but he didn't hear a single voice. He pushed through the crowd. Where is she? He shouted. Two paramedics lifted Celeste onto a stretcher. Her face was pale, lips trembling, hands limp at her sides. Celeste, Julian cried. One of the paramedics held him back. Sir, she's unconscious. We need space. Julian's entire body shook. I'm her husband, he whispered, voice cracking. Please let me go with her. Celeste's mother clung to his arm, tears streaming. Get in the ambulance, she sobbed. She needs you. But her father was standing behind them, arms crossed, eyes burning with disgust. You don't deserve to ride with her, he snapped. You broke our daughter today. Julian felt the hit. Sharp, deep, merciless. I know, he whispered. I know I hurt her, but she's my wife. Celeste's father pointed a trembling finger at him. No, he said coldly. You don't get to say that today. Julian closed his eyes, pain slashing through him. But the paramedic intervened. We need to move. One person can ride along. Celeste's mother grabbed Julian's hand, pushing him forward. Go, she cried. She still loves you, no matter what you did. Just go. Julian climbed inside the ambulance beside Celeste, hands trembling as he held her cold fingers. He whispered, I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. Her eyelids didn't move. Her breathing didn't change. And Julian felt guilt crush him deeper than anything he'd ever felt before. The hospital, the waiting room. The ambulance door swung open. Celeste was rushed down the hallway. Julian tried to follow, but a nurse stopped him. "You need to wait here." He stood alone in the hospital corridor, breathing hard, forehead pressed against the wall. He felt sick, ashamed, broken. Every memory of Celeste flashed through his mind. The way she smiled when she saw him, the night she planned their wedding, the moment she said, "I do," with tears of happiness. And now, she had collapsed because of him. Julian's hands shook violently. He whispered to himself, "I ruined everything. I hurt the woman who never did anything wrong." He pressed his palms to his eyes, trying not to cry. But then, a familiar voice appeared behind him. Soft, broken, scared. "Is she okay?" Julian froze. He turned around. Andre, still in his chef uniform, still trembling, still with tear marks dried on his cheeks. Julian's eyes widened. "What are you doing here?" Andre swallowed. "I came to make sure she was all right," he whispered. "I know she didn't deserve any of this." Julian felt something inside him shatter. "You shouldn't be here," he whispered, voice unsteady. Andre stepped closer. "Julian, this isn't just about the wedding anymore. Someone got hurt. She could be in danger. And I can't just go home and pretend I didn't see it." Julian's throat tightened. "You being here, it'll make things worse." Andre nodded, voice trembling. "I know, but I also know you shouldn't be alone right now." Julian's breath hitched. For a moment, they just stood there, two hearts breaking in the same hallway, for different reasons, because of the same man. Julian gently whispered, "Andre, thank you." Andre looked down, jaw trembling. "I didn't come for thanks," he said softly. "I came because you looked like you were dying inside." Julian felt tears rise. "And I am," he whispered. But before Andre could respond, Celeste's doctor walked out. Both men turned instantly. "How is she?" Julian asked, voice shaking. The doctor sighed. "She's stable but not conscious yet. Her stress levels were dangerously high. Her heart rate spiked. She collapsed from emotional shock." Andre closed his eyes, guilt flooding him. Julian's breath left his body. "Can I see her?" he asked. The doctor nodded. "1 minute, but prepare yourself. She's very weak." Julian swallowed hard and walked toward the room. Andre stayed behind, watching him go with a shattered expression. But just as Julian reached the door, he stopped, turned, and whispered, "Andre, don't leave." Andre's eyes widened, heart thumping. Julian, I don't think I shall." "Please," Julian whispered. "I need you here, even if you're just standing across the hallway." Andre looked at him, jaw trembling, and slowly nodded. "I'm not going anywhere." Julian entered the room. Andre leaned against the wall outside, hands shaking, knowing the next moments might decide all their futures. Julian stood beside Celeste's hospital bed, her pale face, her fragile form, her shallow breathing. Every sight cut him like glass. He reached out, taking her hand gently. "Celeste, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." Her eyelids fluttered. A soft groan escaped her lips. Tears streamed down Julian's face. "I know I hurt you. I know I betrayed your trust, but I never stopped loving you. He paused, choking back sobs. "I never stopped loving him either." At the doorway, Andre watched silently, hands clasped together, heart pounding. Julian's words were like daggers and balm at the same time. Raw, truthful, impossible to ignore. Celeste stirred, voice weak. "Julian, why is this happening?" Julian squeezed her hand. "I don't know, but we'll get through it. I promise." Andre swallowed hard, stepping slightly closer. I can't stay silent anymore," he whispered, voice low and trembling. "I still love you, Julian. I always have." Julian's eyes filled with tears. Andre's confession made his heart ache and soar at the same time. For a moment, the world fell silent. The machines beeped steadily. Time felt frozen. Julian whispered, voice breaking, "Andre, I can't lie. I love you too. I've never stopped loving you." Andre's eyes glistened. Julian's father, standing in the corner, clenched his jaw, disgust, fear, and a trace of helplessness fighting across his face. Celeste's fingers twitched in Julian's hand. I need time," she whispered, voice cracking. I call." Julian nodded, swallowing his own heartbreak. "I know," he whispered. "You take all the time you need. I'll be here." Andre took a cautious step forward, heart racing. "I'll be here too if you want me," he said softly. Julian's chest tightened, and yet relief washed over him in waves. For the first time in years, he felt honest, unfiltered, alive. Celeste's mother quietly wept in the corner. She's lucky she has you, she whispered to Julian. Julian squeezed Celeste's hand once more. I'll fix this, every piece, but for now just breathe. Andre leaned against the wall, silent, watching Julian. No words could capture the storm of guilt, love, and hope swirling in the room. Julian finally stepped back, letting Celeste rest, and whispered to Andre, "This isn't over, not for us." Andre nodded, lips trembling. "I'll wait however long it takes." Julian's father finally spoke, voice low but shaking. You're impossible." Julian smiled weakly through tears. "And I'm done hiding who I am," he said softly. Andre's gaze softened. "I wouldn't have you any other way," he said. Julian turned slightly toward the camera, or in your video, the viewers, and whispered, "If you've ever had to choose between love and what everyone expects, remember this. Your heart knows the truth before anyone else does. Don't ignore it. Speech balloon, like and subscribe if you believe love should never be hidden, and never settle for pretending. Share this story with someone who needs courage to follow their heart." Celeste slowly opened her eyes, tears glinting, and Julian leaned close. "I'll wait for you, all of you, however long it takes." Andre exhaled softly, heart both heavy and full. The three of them, broken, battered, yet alive, stood on the edge of something new. And in that fragile, painful, beautiful moment, the veil between love, truth, and courage lifted. Julian whispered again, "This is just the beginning." Speech balloon, hit like and subscribe to follow every twist of this unforgettable story.